Hey y'all, bliss and aloha. Got some stuff happening over here on this side, so if you hear some drilling, I'll talk louder. Oh my goodness, we are back for part 3 of this I have been ungreatly just to myself sharing and reflection. I don't know if it applies to you or not. I'm just saying, I'm just sharing what I was guided to share. And I have been avoiding it like the plague for about a month now. Maybe 2, if I'm fully transparent. Yeah, that part. So today we're talking about how those subtle lies show up. Okay? See, I'm getting a little choked up. Woo. I'm telling you, we can't hide. We can't hide. I'm just saying. Woo. So what I realized is that, and I have said this before, a couple of years ago, I've talked about it, and even in Hawaii, in one of the 44 days of gratitude, we talked about lying and how to be grateful for lying. So again, we have some stuff happening here, and I want you to be able to hear me. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hold on, let me see if I can open this other phone so on Facebook so I can see the comments. Okay, yeah. So this works. Okay, good. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay. All right, so let me make sure I have the correct view on. And that is this one. Ooh. Okay, so am I looking over here? Am I looking over here? Okay, so if I'm looking here, then it's that one. Okay. All right, so what I was saying is that, these subtle lies that occur. And on the road to being responsible for how you show up in the world and recognizing the patterns that have been a crucial part of your life, right? Woosah, just breathe. There comes a time in every man's life, in every woman's life, where, if you don't change, you will be made to change. And I know we wrestle with changing and thinking that it has to be hard, and it really doesn't. And this was not a part of what I was going to talk about, because I was just going to get right to it, say it, and that be it. However, this is a part of the download, so somebody must need to hear this, and I must need to hear myself say it again. So change does not have to be difficult. And so this is the other thought that just came through, is that as you are maturing, evolving, and I think this is connected to my mother's transition too. These insights and these new awarenesses. And I won't say that they're new awarenesses, because I've had these thoughts before and have made changes. And I'm grateful that I'm in a space now where I can even go deeper with being transparent, being vulnerable, and talking about this for me personally. And maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. Who knows? I'm just saying that change doesn't have to be difficult, in that when you are purposefully committed, and as I'm purposefully committed to shifting the shit, which is self healing inner talk, right? And being purposeful and showing up as my best God self, because God works through us, right? As us, through us, right? And so, you know, you just have to be able to say what it is, let it land how it lands, and I have to get it off of me. So I've been running from having this conversation about being unjustly to myself, and being able to confess my faults, not confessing them to you, because I've already did this with Allah, God, the Most High, you know, the one true, one source. All right, because there's only one source, whatever name you call the God. Okay, that essence that breathes all of us. So being able to recognize that this change is happening, and choosing to be in present moment awareness and be an example, you know, so people don't have to make some of the same mistakes that I've made. It's, you know, it is what it is. So here we go with the subtle lies. As I said before, I've had this conversation before, so it's out there. So might as well just take it to another whole level, right? So, and it's simple. It's really simple. And as Einstein said, as Sean Callaghy, a blind man, is helping us to see. Einstein said to make it simple, not simpler. So, what about these subtle lies, right? So, I've been lying to myself. And what does that look like? You know, and I've recognized the big ways, and what's more or equally as important are the subtle ways. And let's talk about how they show up. And where this resonates for you, and if you're still in denial, that's okay. Things will occur that will support you to come out of denial. Okay? So let's talk about the sneaky lies of convenience. Those are the subtleties that I'm talking about, right? And they sound really harmless until they begin costing me consistency, energy, right? And self-trust. And I've talked about that too. So how do you feel about that? Can you relate to that? So you hear the banging. All right, so here we go. So let's give you some examples. So when I recognized I'm 40 pounds overweight, right? And that day, get back to juicing, right? Whew. 1 meal a day, drinking my water. I've always doing my nutritionals. Okay, I'm always doing my supplements, my things that I know, like my chlorophyll that helps sustain a homeostasis atmosphere in the body, right? So those other parts that make up the big picture is where I have been lying to myself through these sneaky little conveniences of saying, oh, well, I'll start tomorrow, right? Or I can eat these nuts without soaking them, you know. See, rationalizing. Yeah. And because knowing for me that the nuts are definitely not good for my digestive. Okay. And so, or either saying, I'll call her tomorrow, or I'll call him tomorrow, right? So those are the little conveniences that I'm talking about. So where in your life are those subtle lies of convenience showing up, right? So the next thing that happens, let's talk about in our business, you know, because I'm definitely in that realm, right? That's one of my pillars with helping with purpose and knowing what you're here to do and loving it and having fun doing it. And if it's not fun, we don't do it. And if it's not fun, we make it fun so we can get it done, right? So in business, what you say? Oh, I'll launch when it's perfect. I'm working with a client now, Lord have mercy. If this child, this lady, this girl don't post a doggone video, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's this, one of my mentors, Trevor Otts, says, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Okay? So that happens in business. I get it too. I suffered with it too. And I'm full transparency, still have my challenges. So the same thing I'm saying to my clients and how I'm supporting them, I give it back to myself. And then I get into action. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Okay? So, subtle lies. The little small conveniences. All right? The things we say, oh, I'll do later. When you've had the intuitive hit, God has told you, do it now. And it's subtle. It's a sort of voice, right? So, all right, let's move on. Now, when that happens, what does that mean? What is the conversation you having about yourself and with yourself? Okay? And so I challenge you, and I'm doing this for myself, when this occurs, that I have when I make the change, right? When I make the change, that I am creating a new identity for myself. So as I'm shifting my shit, the self-healing inner talk, and you notice that's a play on words, right? Because in truth, whether you see it as good, bad, or indifferent, it's all serving you. Now, how do you see that service to yourself? Because it's all serving you. So now my heroic, unique identity says, I'll start Monday. But my heroic, unique, my heroic, unique identity doesn't settle for starting it on Monday. All right? When I'm now aligning with who I know I am versus the programs that I have been running that no longer serve me. Okay, so we're going to look over here at y'all, at the audience, okay? Bliss, bliss, lady in mauve, how are you? Right? So when we are making these changes, we are shifting our identities, and we get to now have a new way of seeing ourselves and showing up. All right? So now I declare that my heroic, unique identity chooses the consistency, chooses the discipline, chooses to stay in the present moment and be honest with myself as to why I'm even doing the thing. Because what I realize for me is that when I'm doing a certain thing and there's a different motive connected to it that may not serve my highest good and or those who will be engaging with me, that if I do it, may not come out, get the results or the outcome that I intended, or I may be challenged And I'm not saying that this is the only way. I'm giving you this self-case study for myself that I've recognized. Okay? And should you be able to relate to it? Okay, let's go on this journey together. All right? And just look at it. I'll be your mirror. I'll come and tell it all. All that you can handle on this platform, because you got to come into the community to get all the goody goodies, the deep down rooty tooty, right? So I love to have fun with this because, oh my gosh, it can be really heavy and you can go into depression, and we don't have time for that. We have a purpose to live, right? And we have people to serve, right? And add value to, and in exchange we get value, and we got to keep on rising to the top. Give it all you got. All right? So, yeah, my heroic, unique identity chooses the discipline, chooses the consistency, chooses to love my body today. And again, I've been talking about this 40 pounds of weight that I have on me. All right? And I know where it's coming from. I can backtrack to all the things. All right? So the question is now, what does your heroic, unique identity choose? Right? What's your new identity? So that it supports you in being rooted to how you're showing up and serves as a reminder of how you're showing up. All right? So, who wants to share what their heroic, unique identity is that they're changing, that they've changed into as a result of what they used to do, connected to these subtle lies that shows up in little conveniences that you are now choosing to say or put off, or that you're going to do tomorrow. I'll do that some other time or later, or it's okay to do that in this way. So we're no longer choosing to do that. So now you got to give that energy a new assignment. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You got to give it a new assignment. So what is the new identity that you're connecting with? Right? What is that for you? Think about it. All right? So, again, what's one little convenient lie you've been telling yourself? And more importantly, what would your heroic, unique identity choose instead? Yeah, be with that. All right? So, the little lies of convenience cost us the most. And I can recognize how I've still paid for them when I didn't atone with myself, when I didn't be honest with why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay? And it's not because we don't know better. It's really not. And the beauty of it is, because you're breathing and you woke up this morning, you have another opportunity to change, to do it differently, to show up differently for yourself. All right? So, that's what I got for you today, with the subtle lies and how they show up in these little inconveniences. All right? So, that's that. I wanted to only do this for like 10 minutes, but of course I had to honor the downloads and the information that was coming through that I could connect this to and even share more for somebody who needed to hear it, whether you're listening live or to the replay. So, I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against my faults. For none can grant protection against faults but thee. And guide me to the best of morals. For none can guide to the best of morals but thee. So that's a prayer. Say it. Say it, because it's relief in saying it. When you acknowledge it, it shifts the energy immediately. So pay attention, and I want you to be your own case study, and then come back either in my DMs or send me an email or a text and say, yep, I had an experience. It's true. It's true. When you declare, I've been unjust to myself, especially when you know you're being unjust to yourself, just go ahead and fess up. Give yourself a break. And your body will definitely appreciate you for it. All right? What's this? I got somebody coming in. Okay, so that's all we had today. So we'll be back tomorrow with some more deep dives into how this 40 pounds of weight has helped me to really be able to see how I've been greatly unjust to myself and the blessing in it. That's the beauty. You got the yin and the yang. They in service to each other. So I want you all to consider to stop compartmentalizing your life. That's another topic for another day. All right? And recognize the polarity, the law of polarity in your life, in your ways of being, in how you show up, in the things that happen to you. It's positive and it's negative. Okay? Because it's everywhere and it's in everything. And now be able to look at how they serve each other. Because if this hadn't happened, then this couldn't have happened. You know? So, again, that's another topic for another day that I love to be able to go deeper in. And so we'll do that in our private sessions. So I want to thank my sister client, without saying her name, with helping to birth and being open to accepting her new identity. And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. And it actually started probably about 2 months ago. Yeah, so it's a good thing. All right, so that's it. That's all. Leave your comments below. Share it with someone or not. All right. And let me know how this lands for you. All right, take care.